Everybody, today I am interviewing Miss America, Grace Stanke, who also happens to be a nuclear engineer. And she actually had questions for me. So I agreed to have this conversation with her and answer her questions. So, Miss America, Grace Stanke, shoot.
I love it. So it's always important to ask questions, right? Because always learn, always stay curious, people, right? So my first question for you, Professor, is how did you first find out about nuclear? What got you into it?
Well, I was actually anti nuclear as a boy. Growing up, even through high school, I was what you would be considered, I would fall into that category of being anti nuclear. But I always loved math and science. Physics was my passion. I loved physics. And so after I got out of the Navy, I went into university and got a double major in math and physics. Loved it, but I couldn't really find a good job because I'd started a family then, and there really wasn't much pay there. So I thought, well, I needed a graduate degree. So I got a master's degree in physics, and there still wasn't any good jobs out there. And I realized if I'm going to get a good job, so I can, provide for my family the way I want to, I'm going to have to go into engineering. They're the only ones that make money out of college, right? And I was like, I love math and physics. I can't divorce myself. I have to do math and physics. And it just so happened that there at my university, they had a nuclear engineering PhD program. I was like, oh, I don't have to divorce myself in math and physics. I get all my math and physics and I can do engineering at the same time and make a great pay. So that's what converted me over to nuclear engineering.
No, honestly, so many people that I've met, they're always like, man, engineering, the paycheck though. Like, and it's a motivator. It's real, it's a very real thing. So I love that though. But it is awesome because math and physics combined, beautiful, beautiful combo. Beautiful combo.
Yes.
Okay. On the topic of math and physics and all the things that makes nuclear cool and awesome, tell me what you think is the most awesome thing about nuclear in terms of like technology or just like awesome science.
If you were to list off all of the things that would make the ideal energy source, all of the categories, you would want it to take very few materials. You'd want to have, very little mining. You'd want to have a very little footprint. You don't want it to take up, all of France or something. You want it to take up a tiny little piece of maybe a fraction of a city, just a tiny, and then you'd only want it to have a small amount of waste. You don't want to fill landfills. And then you want it to give a massive amount of energy back for the energy you put into it, for all of the manufacturing and everything. And then you want it to be incredibly safe, right? All of these things are kind of like everything that you would want out of the perfect energy source, and nuclear is it. It's got all of those. The only criticism that I would say that one could levy and be truthful is that so far we're having a hard time doing it on time and under budget. But all of the environmental drivers that I've always loved, I've always considered myself an environmentalist. And as an environmentalist, nuclear is it, flat out, hands down.
I love it. I love it. And I think people are coming to see that nowadays too, with realizing nuclear is the path forward, which is great. We love it. We love it. All right. Last question. Most memorable teaching moment. What was the best thing?
Oh my goodness. It was my first PhD student being offered more than I make. Right out of college. Right out of
Go
college.
back to engineering again, maybe. Oh, that's awesome though. And that's so neat though that you get to contribute to that success and help like shape students' lives. Like think about that. I think about how much my professors just in my undergrad have played such a major role in not only my career but literally in my life at this point. So seriously, that's really awesome. That's really awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, Grace Stanke, Miss America 2023.
Yay.
Thank you.